why don't we call this Gym 1?
Okay.
And let's do a breakdown of the finger exercise.
And that's that finger crawling one you did, right?
I like that it's called finger crawling.
I don't know if it's called that, but I'm calling it
It
that.
is now. It's definitely its
So it's
name.
like, let me just make sure I got it. So
Yeah.
it's this, right? Like that.
Yep. I think the
Or
only
is
things that you taught me differently, you move, nobody stays down. No, you can keep your legato on your notes, but nobody. When I move from first to two, my first finger moves a little bit.
that's interesting.
I might have bastardized the exercise as well.
Yes, a little bit, because I've got two versions of it. Two versions of it I've done.
Yeah,
Neither of them are that, but you just made a third version, is all.
yeah. Well, show me version number 1.
All right, the original version that I learned, and I'm sure this doesn't apply to everybody, but the original version I learned is just you're doing it's finger permutations, right? So you do 1 2 3 4 1 2 4 3, 1
Yeah.
3 2 4 1 3 4 2, etc., etc. And just to clarify, it'd be like 1 2 3 4 is that 1 2 4 3 1 3 2 4 1 3 4 2 1 4 2 3 1 4 3 2. And then you can start with your second finger, then start with your third,
Yep.
start with your fourth, and do all the possible permutations like that. And the goal is to keep your fingers from flying up, right? You're just trying to keep them as close to the string as possible, especially that pinky that likes to fly out.
Pinky in third, I feel like.
And the way I played it was the way I learned it was just you go through, so say you're doing 1 2 3 4, and you hold all the notes down as you go, right? And then you just
Okay.
lift for the next string. I think.
I don't know if that would work though, because when you do, because how would you do 4 1 4 1 3 2?
You're right. You're right. You're right. I think I'm remembering my own learning experience wrong. Yeah, yeah. And then that gives you more practice with holding your fingers just above the
Yep,
strings.
yep.
So yeah, you're right. You're right. You're right. Okay.
It happened before. It's happened again.
I've learned something from you today.
Let's not make a habit of that. Okay, remember when I was really, really bad at this and now I'm just bad at this?
Yes, I remember always when you're really, really bad at something because
Yeah.
it's the only joy I have in my life.
I'm glad you have something. One thing you told me to do right away, and it was really stuck in my head, and I'll go on a longer conversation about this, is I had this habit of just pressing down super hard on the strings. And
Yeah,
you
I remember that.
made me go, hey, just get the note to ring out. Get it to almost buzz. And when I did that for the first week, it was a game changer.
Yeah. Well, what you want to do is you want to get it to the point where it buzzes, and then go back from that point just enough that it doesn't buzz.
Yeah.
And that tells you on any guitar, whether it's electric, acoustic, classical, doesn't matter, tells you how hard you should be pushing on those strings. And you're going to find most likely you're pushing so much harder than you have to.
Can I tell you
And
why
that-
I think everyone does that though?
Why is that?
Because I think a lot of people start guitar at like 14, 13, 12, 10, right? Whatever age. And we're taught to like make this chord, I learned the E minor chord first, right? And we're taught to play it, and we can never get the strings to sound right when we first strum. And so your teacher goes, well, press down harder.
Push down harder.
Hey, well, you got to fix this problem. Press it down. Wait, you're not getting the note string out? Press down. And I think it becomes ingrained as we learn all these first chords that we just go and we push it down as hard as possible.
I agree with that because the reason I found that idea so helpful, and I learned it from a classical guitar teacher, the whole press down until it buzzes, or release until it buzzes, and then go just past that again to get a clean tone. And so I'd been playing guitar for quite a while, and I was like, wow, I am pressing these strings way too hard. And you know what happens when you press a string really hard?
It detunes. Or
50 tunes.
tunes differently. I guess you could say detunes or pro tunes or
Yeah, I mean, it goes sharp.
yeah. Um, I think the other thing that happens that I was having issues with, it changes how fast you can play.
Very much so. And what your fatigue rate is going to
Yeah, the fatigue thing is huge. So in my mind, Gym 1A maybe is spending a week on all the finger permutations, as one of us would say, and just getting that perfect buzz, and then press down harder. So it's almost just a ring out, buzz, ring
right.
out.
It's like find the buzz and
Yeah.
then get rid of it.
Oh, I like
Just
that. Nick, you just wrote a headline, Find the Buzz.
hey, there you go.
Because it really, and I've been doing this in lessons for a little bit, and kind of the reason why I wanted to do gyms is like, I'm sick of teaching every first lesson and telling this person to do the same thing again. Where if I could send them this video and go, hey, this is Gym 1A, you're going to find the buzz this week. And these little kids are like smoking weed and find.
They get their buzz on. Yeah.
They get the buzz on's another good one.
Hey, there you go.
Have 2 title options right now. Get the buzz on, find the buzz. I kind of like find the buzz a little bit more because it sounds less like we're doing drugs. And I'm not. I'm not. Is the end of that.
I mean, I'm doing a drug known as caffeine,
Yeah.
but no one considers it much of a drug.
No, and more people use that drug than probably any other.
I've actually, this is a little tangent, but it was kind of a funny article. It was about how caffeine peddlers have become the great drug peddlers of our day. Like people didn't drink coffee in the past like they do now. Like it's so pushed, but it is a drug. It has a chemical substance that affects the brain chemistry, and it is addictive. Like you get to the point where you like biochemically require it to function normally, right?
When I stopped doing 3 energy drinks a day, I felt way better. That says a lot.
I believe that.
Yeah. Okay, so if finding the buzz is step 1 of this exercise,
Yep.
okay, so then, I mean, like, and I know you were probably good enough at guitar that you didn't have to spend as much time finding the buzz. And you could move to
When I
step
did
1.
this exercise, when I first learned this exercise, I didn't know the idea of finding the buzz.
Gotcha.
This was a good long while ago. This is when I first started at music school in LA, Los Angeles Music Academy, and I don't remember how I got this exercise. I think one of my teachers probably gave it to me, because I was having my fingers were doing this,
Yeah.
and I was just like, okay, you need to really
Yeah.
get that economy of motion a bit more sorted, as I did with every other technique. I needed to get it sorted. But what was really hard for me was my hand felt really strange when I kept my fingers close to the strings.
Yeah.
So I wasn't thinking about buzz at all back then, but I was thinking about that. The main goal was to keep my fingers as close to the strings as I could, and boy, is it a super uncomfortable feeling. And some of those permutations, like 1, 2, 3, 4 is probably the easiest to keep your fingers closed.
For everybody,
but then
I'm guessing, yeah.
doing like 4, 3, 2, 1, a whole different game.
When I do practice, and again, part of the reason I want to do the gyms is I want to get myself kind of back into shape.
Right.
So, and I know that like we've talked this a lot, like we can play songs all day, we can work on recordings like that, but going back to the basics and fundamentals and really owning them are the best thing you can do and making it part of your daily practice. What I noticed when I was doing this back in the day, your hands would almost become magnetized to the guitar. You like unhook your hand from the guitar and it stays in this shape, and you get this weird pulling feel because you're just not used to teaching your hand how to behave.
Right.
Yeah, or the more legato one. Now, on this exercise, would you do it timed right away? I mean, would you do it with a metronome, or would you just...
No, not at all.
Ever?
Because I don't think I ever did it with a metronome. The whole focus of it is just that finger pressure.
Yep.
Put the right amount of pressure so you're not overdoing it. So that's that finding the buzz idea, is finger pressure, and then keeping your fingers close to the strings. And so, if that means you got to sit on a note and adjust your fingers, that's what I would do.
Yep.
And I go to the next one and get my fingers, if they're lifting up, get them back down. If they did that, I'd be like, all right, pull them back in. Obviously, I'm kind of exaggerating the finger, but it's the idea. I went like really slow because my whole focus was on my fingers. This wasn't there are other exercises you can do for like the for the speed or whatever.
I think oftentimes the case is too when I teach a new student an exercise. I mean, I had it yesterday in a drum lesson. I would play a triplet thing for him, and every time he played it, he would get incrementally faster. And I'm like, the exercise is not going to help you if you keep on pushing that tempo. Instead, let's find the slowest tempo you can do it right at, own that, understand that, and then build speed from there.
Right. And so this one is all about how you approach it, how you think about it. If you're thinking about it as playing through these permutations, that's the wrong thinking. But if you think about it as finger pressure and finger height off the strings, that's the right way, because then that's what you're going to focus on. And so you're not going to think about, I'm getting to the next note. You're thinking about, okay, on this note, my fingers are in the right position. On this note now, my fingers are in the right position. Okay, next note. Oh, fingers aren't in the right position. Get them back in position. And go through. And it would take me probably, I did it every morning for a few months. As my warm-up, basically. And it would take me probably around a half hour to get through all the permutations.
Okay.
And it didn't really get faster because my focus was on I could always I could still today playing, I can make adjustments to my fingers. And so I would still play it right about here. And sometimes I'll go faster from one note to the next because I feel good about that one faster, right? And sometimes I'll sit with one where it's like, okay, fingers, come on, do your thing, And I really like that finding the buzz idea in there as well, because like I said, it's not what I did.
Yeah.
But it's such a great exercise for it because you're already thinking about your fingers so much.
And I think it goes back to a lot of different instruments. If somebody's come in and played guitar for 5 years, I say this a lot. We need to retrain your brain how to approach the guitar.
It's true.
It's very true on vocals as well, because I think it's a lot of mechanics inside your body, and you do it very naturally. Where guitar, obviously, if you're learning from somebody else, you're not used to playing guitar. If you've never played guitar before, it's different.
Right.
So that
all of us have some kind of ability to sing right out the gate, whether it's good or not. But we have that. It's just an extension of speech.
Yeah. But even that, then you can learn bad habits from that, right? And to retrain your brain and make it like you said, economy of movement, a more economical way to play, less caustic on your body. So what I would like to do with this is, so you said 30 minutes a day is what you did before.
I didn't time it. I did it till I was done with every permutation, and it took me right around a half hour.
All right. So I want to do a 7-day challenge, and it may not be 7 days in a row. I mean, obviously, schedules don't always allow, but 7-day challenge of doing the finger gym workout, and I want to do a video of where I was before and after. And
very cool.
And this kind of gives me the idea of how do you do a litmus test on guitar? Right? Because everyone wants to see, like, I've progressed. I've done something for a week. So would you say, hey, let's pick a riff of a song that you already know and see how your hand moves? Like I played Day Tripper all my life. Would be playing that be good, or should I do a riff I've never played before?
I'm inclined to say okay, so remember when we talked about singing songs, and when you've improved your vocal technique, but you go back to a song you used to sing all the time 5 years ago, you end up actually singing it much more like you did back then than with your new vocal technique. So
it's the retraining your brain thing, right? You haven't retrained your brain. Yeah.
So I think in this case, you'd want to pick a riff that you haven't already played a ton, so that it's using your current technique, and then you can see the difference after a week.
Okay.
And see if there is a difference.
Yeah.
Right?
I know there will be one because I've done this exercise in a more strategic way before. What's the word I'm looking for? I've done it, and
Distant and planned,
yeah,
and yeah.
I was in a more better practice habit, or habit
Yeah.
of practice. Okay, so I will find a new riff, learn riff, do it a couple takes, and kind of film and set up a camera so you can see this angle and really see how the fingers are moving or are behaving. Cool. I like that
Yeah,
idea.
that's cool.
So
It's a good idea.
is there anything else after Jim Buzz? Find the Buzz. We don't have a name for the second one yet. And then is there anything else?
Find the buzz, float the fingers, and that's about it.
Okay. Sting like a butterfly,
Sting like a butterfly,
float like a bee. Yeah.
float like a bee. Um, it's no, because the whole exercise is really just your finger control on the left hand. So your right hand is even not important here. It's just its only job is to get the nose string out so you can hear that you're pressing with the right amount of pressure, right?
Yeah. And I know that I've written out all the finger permutations before, so we'll put that in the website. They can download a PDF for that.
And I'll just give a quick demonstration
Yeah,
of,
please do.
like the I guess the proper approach. So when we're including the find the buzz in here, what you want to do is you're going to want to pick each note a few times because you need to get to that point where it's buzzing and then past that point, and then there's your right amount of pressure, and then get your fingers the right height above the strings, and then the next note. So the first few runs through this should be very mind-numbingly time-consuming,
Yeah.
I would think. And you might not end up doing every permutation because it might just be too much, but you're trying to just really adjust that finger pressure while floating the fingers just above the strings. And then you can kind of faster, you can kind of like, okay, the buzz is going to, you'll get a feeling for where the buzz is going to be. And you can go just past that. And then your finger pressure is getting set.
Ooh, I like that term though. Finger pressure getting set.
Well, because you have to calibrate it, right? I mean, you are calibrating.
That's kind of the next step. I feel like calibration.
And it's a little bit harder to get buzz on the higher strings, the smaller strings, but you can still get, there it is. You can still get it, and it's really easy. It's actually, I think it's easy to press them too hard. You press the thicker strings too hard too, but I think it's really easy to press the lighter strings too hard because even the pressure required on the lower string isn't the same as the pressure required on the high
I was
string.
about to say the same thing. It is smaller, so it takes less pressure to.
And the difference also in the pitch change is smaller on the smaller strings, so you don't get as much of an effect from pressing too hard.
Okay.
Because that's me pressing really hard and releasing.
Yeah.
Whereas on this string, you can really hear it.
Mm-hmm. Cool. I think we have enough of a gym exercise for the week.
Sounds good.
Awesome, man. Have a good week.
You too.